It's that time again. Gather round, my little darlings, and put your listening ears on. Cross your legs and sit on the carpet if you please. Cookies and punch will be afterward, but now it's story time with Lady Ariella in the Playroom. All right, my pets, I'm so glad you've come to join me today. Are you ready for our story time today?
Yeah!
Wonderful. Today's story comes from the Brothers Grimm. It's a story a lot of people don't know. This one is called Herr, Fix It Up.
Are they fixing someone's bad hair?
No, little one.
It's a little rabbit. Someone broke a bunny rabbit and they need to fix it up.
Children, dear sweet children, if you wish to know what happens in the story, you listen with your ears, not with your darling, and yet somehow very loud, little mouths. Herr is a German word, which isn't so surprising since the Brothers Grimm were from Germany. Herr means Mr. So it's a story about Mr. Fix-It-Up. Now, Herr Fix-It-Up had been a soldier for many years, but when the war ended and there was nothing much to do, he decided he wished to be a footman for a great lord, for there would always be much to do and always something new. So he made his way to a foreign court in a land far away. He spied a great lord walking in a garden. Without a moment's pause, he stepped right up and said,
"My lord, I seek to be a servant to a great lord. If that is you, then you should know that I always know just what is required and what is the best way to go about it."
Well, that sounds wonderful. Let's put that to the test. Tell me what it is I want at just this moment.
Fix-It-Up said not a word, but turned about and ran off. He returned a moment later and handed the lord a pipe and some tobacco.
Smoking is bad for you.
Yes, well, so is punch laced with henbane, but there you have it. Anyway, the lord looked at what Fix-It-Up had brought.
Quite right, my boy. You are now my servant, and I have a task for you. You must go and win me the hand of Princess Nomini. She's the most beautiful in the world, and I would have her as my spouse.
Ha-ha! That's but a trifle for one such as I. Your Majesty must only give me a carriage with 6 horses and a set of fine clothes. I shall need footmen, servants, and all must do precisely as I say.
So the great lord made it just as Fix-It-Up had said. They drove out of the castle on the carriage, and had not gone far when they came to a forest. Now in the forest the birds were singing with a mighty song of great beauty.
Stop! Stop the carriage! We must not disturb the birds, for they are singing praise to their creator. We must go around. What?
So they took the long way around the forest and let the birds alone. It was not much longer when they came to a field filled with thousands of millions of ravens.
Thousands of millions. So trillions.
I see you understand math. How are you at simple directions like be quiet and let me finish the story?
Sorry.
Well, Fix-It-Up was moved to pity, for there was nothing for the ravens to eat.
Oh, he likes animals. That's so nice.
So he untied one of the horses from his carriage and stabbed it until it died. Then he left the body of the horse in the field where the ravens could eat it. And when the ravens had eaten their fill...
1 horse for trillions of ravens? Sorry. It's just, that's a lot of ravens.
Pet, you have 2 choices. You can listen to the story, or you can go into the corner and count to 1 trillion so we all see just how long that will take. And so the carriage went on its way until it came to a brackish little pond. There was a fish in that pond who cried out,
Please help me. There's no nourishment in the swamp. Take me to some flowing water, and I will repay you someday.
Cook, go and take that fish up in your apron. Quickly. Coachman, drive us to the flowing water.
Aye, sir.
After the cook gets back on board with the fish.
Oh, well, you should have said.
So they released the fish into a little brook, and soon after they arrived at the palace of Nominee's father, who took Fix-It-Up for a great lord.
Ah, yes. But many have come to be suitors to my daughter. None could do it, for none could do what I asked them to do.
Well, your majesty must then only give me an errand.
Very well. I have sown a quarter of poppy seeds into a field. If you can bring me those seeds with not a single seed missing, you shall have my daughter.
Fix-It-Up thought this was but a trifle. He took a measure, a sack, and snow-white sheets. He placed the sheets on the side of the field. Then the birds he had left alone in the forest came and picked up the poppy seeds, seed by seed, and placed them on the sheets. Fix-It-Up took the measure and filled it to the last seed.
Here you are, your majesty. Not a single seed missing. Oh, and, by the way, if anyone's going to be in that field anytime soon, you might want to watch your step.
Now Fix-It-Up thought that the princess was already won, but the king said,
One more thing, my boy. I'll need you to find the golden ring my daughter has lost before you may have her.
Of course, your majesty. Just show me the bridge where she was standing when she lost it.
Yes, but I never told you she was standing on a bridge.
Ah, that's right. You weren't there when I said I always know what needs to be done and how to do it. Anyway, about the bridge?
Down this walkway, first left, follow the sound of the flowing water.
Fix-It-Up went to the bridge, and there in the water was the fish he'd saved from the little pond.
Fring? Why, of course. There's a whale down here that has it under his tail. Just let me drive down and get it. Won't be a moment.
So the fish swam down, picked up the ring, and returned it to land.
Thank you, my fishy friend. You might also want to suggest to the whale that it move down to salt water. That'll probably be in everyone's best interest. But in any case, thanks a bunch.
So he brought the ring back to the king, thinking his work was done. But the king said,
Very impressive. I have only one more task for you. For you see, in the forest nearby there lives a unicorn.
A unicorn! I love unicorns!
Yes, little one, I know. It says so on your shirt in sparkly pink letters.
Was it a pretty unicorn?
It was.
With rainbow sparkles in her hair?
Of course.
And did it have big puffy feet with a little smushy face?
You can bet your little hair ribbons on it. Now shall I get back to the story? The king said,
Yes, as I was saying, we've got a unicorn in the forest, and it's causing ever so much trouble. I'd like you to go and kill it.
Of course, your majesty.
What?
So Fix-It-Up went to speak to the ravens he'd fed.
Caw! This unicorn only has one good eye. We'll wait until it's resting with its good eye toward the sky. Then we shall tear it out.
But...
Then, once it is blind, it will get its horn stuck in a tree, and you can jump out and slice its head off.
And that's just what happened. So he took the head back to the king and... Dearie, are you all right? Oh dear, it looks like someone might be a bit overstimulated. Brutus, my dear, would you go and take this little dearie back to the nap room? Such a dear thing, my Brutus. I do hope he doesn't trip over both tails. Well, children, does anyone else need a little break from the story?
No!
Well, good. We're almost done anyway. So Fix-It-Up brought the head of the unicorn to the king.
Ew, ew. Why on earth would you bring that in here? It's all icky. And now I need to replace that rug.
Is there anything else Your Majesty needs me to do?
What? No, just take my daughter and go. And take that ghastly thing with you.
Seems like a terrible way to talk about your daughter, but all right.
So Fix-It-Up brought the princess back to his lord, where there was a great wedding with wonderful pomp. And for his great work, Fix-It-Up was named First Minister. The end. Well, that was a fun story, don't you think?
Yes.
And what can we learn from this tale?
Always be kind to animals, unless they have hooves.
I have that embroidered on a pillow somewhere, I think. Anyone else?
If you like someone and want to marry them, send another person to tell them that.
Good. Nothing can possibly go wrong there. Can we have one more?
You can get people to do your chores for you if you promise you'll give them your daughter.
Well, that works if she's pretty anyway. All right, little ones. Punch and cookie time. And when we're finished, we'll go outside and feed the birds. There are some lovely ravens outside, and I have prepared them a special treat.
Well, outside we can pet the ponies in the barn.
No. All right, dear ones, off with you. And you too, my sweets. It's always a special time with you, and we'll do it again soon. We'll see you next time in the Playroom.
You've been listening to The Playroom, Herr, Fix-It-Up, produced by Seat of Our Pants Players, written and directed by Dan Wenzel. The children's voices were provided by the Seat of Our Pants Players cast. Fix-It-Up was Adam Gastingy. The Lord was Andrew Dell. The Fish was Liz Music. The Coachman was Dan Wenzel. The King was Rick Tennant. The Raven was Andy Gastingy. You don't want to know who was the voice of Brutus. And Lady Ariella was Brianna Kubi. Music and sound effects provided by www.freesfx.co.uk. Herr, Fix-It-Up was written by the Brothers Grimm. And sorry, unicorn lovers, that's pretty much exactly how it goes.